Craig Northwoods to the Rock Mountain Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxfangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello, everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, we'll see the aftermath of Hurricane Milton and the death and destruction left in its wake.
Plus, a man was sentenced for abusing the disabled in Hamden.
For the latest on that, along with the election fast approaching, we'll also give you a look at some of the ballot questions so you can make an informed decision on Election Day.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us. We'll have those stories and a lot more coming up, including some photos of those northern lights that were just amazing last night. But first, a check of your forecast, and it's looking pretty nice heading into the weekend ahead. Lots of sunshine. Things are cooling off. Great time to maybe get out around the house, get things ready for winter. I know I'm going to be doing that this weekend.
I know it was quite chilly overnight, but yeah, those conditions are good for northern lights. Those are supposed to be showing themselves again tonight, so we're just heading into a beautiful weekend. On that note, let's get a look at that forecast with meteorologist Conrad Sapinski.
All right, our first weather this morning is brought to you by Irish Collision Center. Irish Collision Center offers expert repairs with a 3D frame measuring system, aluminum repair equipment. Our recent expansion boosts capacity, faster service. We are dedicated to quality every time. Visit us today. All right, just a few passing clouds out there this morning. Not much going on at all. We're not looking at any rain showers in the forecast. We still got a couple more days for that to happen. Now, temperature-wise, though, right back in those mid-40s right in town. Same story right at the coast, Rockland, Bar Harbor, and Timochias. Even up north, Greenville, Millinocket area, you are hovering back in those mid to upper 40s. So overall, though, mostly 40s all over the state. Now, we're looking at a light breeze, a little bit more of a gusty wind right up north. See this pocket right here of those blue colors indicating wind gusts right around 20+ miles an hour in some spots. Sustained winds right around 13 in Millinocket area. Now, we do have small craft advisories that are in effect till around 2 p.m. That is for later on today. And that is for everyone right off the coast. Now, speaking of today, we're looking at lots of sunshine outside. Windy conditions, that northwest wind right around 25 miles an hour. Temperatures will be a little bit cooler, a couple of degrees below average, hovering in those upper 50s. Now for tonight, though, once again, 40s will be back, mid-40s at that. Partly cloudy skies and those breezy conditions will be continuing. For tomorrow, though, upper 50s once again. Lots of sunshine, will be windy in the forecast. Our hour-by-hour forecast does show temperatures continuing to warm up back in those upper 50s to lower 60s.
The death toll is rising from Hurricane Milton. At least 15 now confirmed dead across multiple counties in Florida after the storm slammed into the west coast of the state as a Category 3 hurricane on Wednesday night. Rescue efforts are still underway and millions are still without power. ABC's Rena Roy has more from St. Petersburg.
This morning, stories of survival emerging amid the death and destruction from Hurricane Milton. This man found floating 30 miles off the Gulf Coast, clinging to a cooler to stay afloat. The Coast Guard rescuing him after he tried to ride out Milton on his fishing boat in 90-mile-per-hour winds and 25-foot seas. Milton made landfall Wednesday night south of Tampa as a Category 3 hurricane. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office going door to door on boats and in high water vehicles, rescuing more than 725 people, including 500 from this apartment complex. And this 14-year-old boy was pulled to safety after floating on a piece of fencing. In Tampa, a mother and son using their fishing boat to help stranded people.
These people all need help. Nobody has been here today.
In Gulf Coast communities from Naples to Venice, people are finding their homes buried under feet of sand.
How many feet of sand would you say we're standing on top of right now?
3 feet, probably 3 feet.
Milton spawned 38 reported tornadoes, damaging hundreds of homes. At least 6 people killed when a tornado hit this retirement community. 12 tornadoes reported within 90 minutes in St. Lucie County.
When I was coming back around, there was people screaming in the trailer park, and 2 or 3 of us jumped the ditch to go check it out, and one guy was already passed away, and it looked like there was a bomb. Went off right there.
In Palm Beach Gardens, this dumpster was picked up by the tornado thrown onto a house. The Palm Beach County Sheriff called the damage in the Wellington area extensive, saying all 200 homes he surveyed were uninhabitable.
And I can tell you why, because the places that I saw looked like it was an atomic bomb blew it up.
And President Biden is now calling on Congress to immediately pass additional funding for disaster aid.
Rena Roy, ABC News, St. Petersburg, Florida.
For another look at the damage done by Hurricane Milton, we spoke with northern Tampa resident Barry Martin about his experience during and after the storm. Martin says his area was spared from the eye of the storm, but still suffered damage. According to Martin, North Tampa experienced winds of 80 to 90 miles per hour and received about 14 inches of rain.
And as you can see, I'm standing in our roads, and they're totally flooded. With about 2 or 3 feet of water. You know, we have 50,000 people working in Florida right now to restore power. Florida as a total had 4 million people out of power. We're down to 3.4 million. We had like 700,000 here in Hillsborough County this morning. We're down to around 518,000 right now. So they do pretty well in getting stuff back and going.
It's going to be a very long recovery for a lot of people down in the southeast. Well, meanwhile, in other news this morning, a man involved in abusing 2 dependent people at a Hamden residential care facility was sentenced on Thursday to 5 years in prison. 47-year-old Rene Dubois of Prospect is one of 4 people from Lee Residential Care to be charged in that case, and now the second former employee to be found guilty. Our Doug Banks has more.
On Thursday afternoon, Rene Dubois pleaded guilty to 1 count of endangering the welfare of a dependent person. Back in September, I reached out to the mother of one of the victims in this case. Last week, she responded and asked to speak with ABC 7 and Fox 22 News following Thursday's sentencing. She asked that her son's name to not be used, but rather his initials, KR.
And I was actually really close to Rene. And he was really close to my son.
On Thursday, inside the Penobscot Judicial Center, Rene Dubois III pleaded guilty to 1 count of endangering the welfare of a dependent person. The 47-year-old of Prospect was sentenced to 5 years with all but 2 suspended. Dubois was asked to report for his incarceration shortly after court was adjourned to the Maine Department of Corrections.
I think Patricia Pullen, the Assistant Attorney General, did the absolute best job she could do with a very difficult set of circumstances.
Out of the 4 former employees charged with abusing 2 dependent people at the assisted living facility Lee Residential Care, Dubois is now the second to plead guilty. Back in August, Zachary Connors pleaded guilty to 1 felony count of intentionally endangering the welfare of a dependent person and is currently serving a 5-year prison sentence. Those close to the victims were asked to speak before the court on Thursday. KR's mother, Danielle Longsworth, said she originally didn't plan on speaking, but felt compelled to do so because of the love she has for her son.
I love him. There's nothing I wouldn't do for him. Everything I do for him. I looked him actually in the eye and I told him that my son loved you. My son loved you and he trusted you. And of all the people that you let them hurt him, and also you did not speak up when you could have spoken up.
KR's co-guardian Margaret Longsworth shared with ABC 7 and Fox 22 News the speech she wrote and said before the court on Thursday. That speech in its entirety can be found on our website. Doug Banks reporting in studio for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
An organization that spends its time helping others found itself in need of some assistance yesterday morning. The Caring Community Cupboard is a food pantry in Old Town that has been supplementing a few meals a week for about 400 people. They had gotten a grant to build a room so the people they serve don't have to wait outside. When volunteers arrived yesterday morning, they discovered the tarp was off of their pile of lumber and a good portion of it had been stolen.
It's just sad. I believe most people are good. They really are. And I was quite angry this morning when I saw what was taken, and I actually had someone put a post on our Facebook page because it couldn't be me to do it because I was so angry, because I know how hard we all work. But, you know, we need to move on.
Right. A local business owner saw that post and dropped off a check for $200 to help cover the cost of the stolen lumber. If you would like to donate to Caring Community Cupboard, you can send checks to Post Office Box 226 in Old Town or drop them off at their location at 354 Main Street in Old Town.
Well, over the past few months, Governor Mills has nominated officials to a number of different roles. Yesterday, they could officially begin their work after a series of confirmation votes was held by the Maine Senate. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bichard has more.
Sit will be in order.
Lawmakers returned to the halls of the State House on Thursday, but they aren't passing any new bills. Instead, they're taking on the task of confirming the nominations made by Governor Mills. Many of the nominations were for judges, board members, and the state fire marshal. Those went largely unopposed. The nomination that sparked the most debate was for Sarah Gagné-Holmes as the commissioner of Maine DHHS.
It's time we bring in somebody new, somebody that hasn't been part of the establishment, somebody that can look at it from the outside.
Some lawmakers stood up for Gagné-Holmes.
I am encouraged by her attitude. And I just wanted to be clear, I'll be voting for the nominee, but my vote is not a vote for the status quo. And in fact, it's just the reverse.
In the end, 8 senators voted to oppose her nomination and 24 voted to confirm her as Maine's new DHHS commissioner. Gagné-Holmes says she knows she has a lot of work to do within the next 2 years to try and fix the broken system.
I'm committed to rebuilding trust with the people we serve. We're going to do that through technology, through more efficiencies, through ensuring that the communications we do make are clear and concise and people know where they need to go and what they need to do.
And with their task complete, lawmakers again returned to the campaign trail with less than 1 month until the election and less than 2 months until the start of the 132nd legislature. At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
All right, the time now is 8:11. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, Ellsworth is deciding whether or not to allow recreational pot shops inside the city. We'll go over everything you need to know ahead of the election.
But first, another check of that weather forecast. A nice day ahead today, sunny and windy with highs near 59 degrees. It'll be partly cloudy and breezy overnight, lows dropping down to the upper 40s. Tomorrow, much like today, mostly sunny and windy with highs near 59. We'll be right back.
Class-leading safety features at every turn. A Hyundai Tucson.
Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $229 a month, or get 1.99% APR, or up to $1,250 bonus cash. See your local Bangor Hyundai dealer.
Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow Party. Don't miss the world premiere of Stegosaurus and your favorites, Bigfoot, Megarex, Tiger Shark, and more. Be amazed by the high flyers of freestyle motocross and the all-new fire and frost-breathing robot, Arctic Gone. Plus the pre-show VIP and Power Smashers pre-show before each performance. Kids tickets start at just $12.50. Come watch your favorite Hot Wheels Monster Truck toys come to life at Cross Insurance Center, October 18th through the 20th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
For 3 years in a row, Chevy has earned more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. Whether it's a high-tech SUV, the all-electric Equinox EV, or a truck for work or play, Chevy is America's most awarded brand for new vehicle quality. Current qualified lessees can get this all-new 2025 Equinox for around $299 a month. And now introducing the first-ever all-electric Equinox EV.
Rescue 126 coming in hot.
Are you ready?
Welcome to the party, Captain. We're gonna need every rescue unit they can spare. Mars!
Big waves, big currents, big everything.
I'm going in.
It's all in a day's work.
Hang on!
Good save, Captain. An all-new 911 Lone Star, followed by an all-new Rescue High Surf, Mondays at 8 on Fox.
Ellsworth residents will soon decide if they want to allow recreational marijuana stores within the city. Our David Ledford spoke with a city council member to break down what voters should know about the referendum question before they head to the polls.
This November, Ellsworth voters will be asked if they want to allow retail stores that sell adult-use cannabis.
The question is, do you as a citizen want to opt into Ellsworth having adult-use cannabis? formerly called recreational. These are stores you can walk into without a medical card and purchase cannabis.
Ellsworth already has some medical marijuana shops in the city, but if voters approve the referendum in November, the city's planning department will begin drafting ordinances and regulations to allow for adult use cannabis stores, which will then go to the city council for a final vote. There will also be a 6-month moratorium while these are being drafted. During this part of the process, the city will decide where the stores would go, how many would be allowed in the city, and further details like hours of operation.
We're certainly not looking to put a shop on every corner. We'll probably max out recreational shops at 2, maybe 3.
If the referendum passes, there will also be at least 2 public hearings and workshops to allow for further public input. If the referendum does not pass, current members of the council will not take further action.
If this didn't pass, basically nothing would change. The existing medical shops that are already quote-unquote grandfathered in would stay just as they are.
However, a no vote would not prevent future action on adult use cannabis stores. A future city council could take action by vote or referendum. To learn more about this referendum and to view the city's latest informational workshops, visit ellsworthmaine.gov. In Ellsworth, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, meanwhile, referendum question number 5 on the Maine state ballot asks, do you favor making the former state flag replaced as the official flag of the state in 1909 and commonly known as the pine tree flag, the official flag of the state? Basically what they're saying is, do you want to change the Maine state flag to the version that Maine adopted back in 1909? Do we want to replace the new flag with the old flag? We asked a few Mainers how they feel about it.
I've always been a fan of the old flag personally. I mean, I just think that it's, more unique to Maine than the other one, which looks like a whole bunch of other states.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of like the one we have, so but I don't have any hard decision either way, really.
Personally, I think we should keep it on what it is now, but that's just my personal opinion. Not that I know a lot of people would probably want the original one back to bring back original tradition, but I would much. I don't know. With growing up here my whole life, I think I'd much rather prefer that one.
Or that's basically what I'm hearing for people too. A lot of people like the current flag. They want to keep it the way it is, but we'll have to wait till election day to figure it all out.
Yeah, it's a big change. Just be careful when you vote. The referendum question's a little tricky.
Read it carefully. Yeah.
All right, right after the break, a cap on the number of people who can come ashore in Bar Harbor is back on the ballot.
We'll tell you what to know ahead of Election Day as Good Morning Maine continues.
You won't find confidence on any list of SUV features, but one brand has it in spades, backed with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of select new 2024 Sportage and 2024 Sorrento models.
Washington works for the wealthy and elites in places like New York City, while leaving us behind.
Congress is broken. It's not getting the job done. We need both parties to work together to lower electric bills, stop the flow of fentanyl, end the Biden-Harris inflation, and protect Social Security.
Congress should work for us. We must bring balance to Washington and put people over politics.
I'm Austin Terrio, and I approve this message.
Irresistibly smooth milk chocolate from the Lindt Master Chocolatier. Lindor. Made to melt you. And now, discover a new non-dairy Lindor. Made with oat milk. Made to melt you.
Central Maine Barns and Sheds, quality products built right here in Newport with a strong attention to detail. We have an incredible selection of pre-made options and would be more than happy to custom build a unit specifically for you. Central Maine Barns and Sheds has financing options available, including a rent-to-own program. We provide free delivery and setup within a 30-mile radius of any of our locations. Check out our full inventory at centralmainbarns.com or call for more information, 368-6177.
You won't find confidence on any list of SUV features, but one brand has it in spades, backed with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of select new 2024 Sportage and 2024 Sorrento models.
Bar Harbor residents voted to limit the number of cruise ship passengers that can come ashore to 1,000 a day. Now, voters are being asked whether or not to repeal that decision this November.
Our Grace Blanchard breaks down the referendum question that is causing controversy throughout the community.
Lots of small towns in Maine don't have this challenge because they're not in a, they're not sitting next to Arcadia National Park and they don't have this issue.
This election, referendum question 4 is asking Bar Harbor residents whether or not to repeal the land use ordinance that was approved in 2022, which capped the number of passengers allowed to be dropped off by cruise ships to 1,000. That would be replaced with a new licensing approach brought forth by the town council.
Our approach has a daily passenger cap of 3,200, but it also includes monthly caps and annual and seasonal caps as well. So and then also contracted days off. So we have days with ship-free days that are within that contracted system.
Town officials say the current ordinance has been challenging to enforce and has resulted in a lot of litigation.
Part of this is about having the tools that we need to really be able to manage visitation into the future.
During May through August, Bar Harbor's busiest months, there would be a monthly limit of 20,000 passengers.
We need the cruise ships. We've spent years cultivating this whole cruise ship industry coming here, and it's all just going down the drain, which is unfortunate.
Those who are not satisfied with the proposed compromise hope to see the original ordinance stand.
The town is simply overtaken with cruise ship visitors, and they're visitors like anybody else, but the town is overtaken, which harms the interest of everybody else, the residents, the land visitors, all the other businesses. It's simply too many people in too short a time.
To learn more, you can visit our website, foxbangor.com. In Bar Harbor, I'm Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
It's a big deal for locals, but it affects everybody who visits Bar Harbor.
Yeah.
All right, the time now is 8:21.
Let's get a full look at our forecast.
Our Maine weather this morning is brought to you by Irish Collision Center. Irish Collision Center offers expert repairs with a 3D frame measuring system, aluminum repair equipment. Our recent expansion boosts capacity, faster service. We are dedicated to quality every time. Visit us today. Another quiet start to the day for our Friday. It's the weekend around the corner. Let's go, my friends. It is absolutely knocking on our door. So exciting stuff there, right? And weather-wise, though, we're having some exciting stuff once again. A dry stretch will be continuing. Dew points will start to rise right around that Monday morning time frame into the afternoon hours. No worries, though, right in time for Tuesday into Wednesday. Dew points will be dropping once again to comfortable levels. Now we're getting that push of colder air. So this blue all the way down to Raleigh, upstate New York, Pennsylvania, Detroit. We're looking at temperatures in the 30s and 40s. But in the central parts of the country, look at all this yellow. That's showing some very, very mild temperatures. Minneapolis is starting out the day close to 70 degrees. It is almost middle of October. Incredibly warm temperatures. Now, we've had our own share of very warm temperatures, those red colors pretty much every single day, but then we had that turn on Monday. So this last week, the last 4 days, we saw temperatures a couple of degrees below average back in those 50s and 60s. Remember those 70s and 80s? They are long gone. Now we are entering more of a fall, cooler type of weather trend. Our average should be right around 60 degrees as a high. We're going to be a couple of degrees below that the next several days. Tuesday, low 50s outside, upper 40s as high temperatures on Wednesday, and then slightly warmer by Thursday. Temperatures will be at 52. That is still well below average. Now, we are seeing those light winds. Millinocket area in and around your region, you are looking at more of a gusty wind, where sustained winds right around 10 to 15 miles an hour. Wind gusts close to 20 to even 25 in some spots. We're actually going to get worse, especially by Saturday morning time frame. So we're looking at widespread, very gusty winds, right around even 40 miles an hour in some spots, inland as well. So of course, by the coast, a little bit more of that gusty wind. For today, though, sunny skies, though, breezy conditions, windy at times, temperatures right around 59 degrees. For tonight, though, mid 40s outside, partly cloudy skies. It will be breezy once again. For tomorrow, very gusty winds, temperatures right around 59. But mostly sunny skies. Our extended forecast outlook does show another good-looking day out there for Saturday, even into Sunday, and then more chances of rain showers by Monday.
Welcome to Hillcrest Orchards, located in Winterport. From crisp apples and cider to homemade jams, jellies, and maple syrup, Hillcrest Orchards has you covered. Hillcrest Orchards also carries gifts and seasonal decorations. Stop by today, open 10 to 4.
There's no question this year, reproductive rights, reproductive freedom is on the ballot. Mary, what was your reaction the day you heard about the Dobbs decision?
I never thought we would be back here. I just never did.
Mom, I mean, I remember I grew up with you telling me I had the choice to do what I wanted with my body.
There's no room in a doctor's office for the patient, the doctor, and the government. This is one of the reasons I want to go back, because there's a lot of work left to be done.
Make Roe v. Wade the law of the land.
You have my word. I'm Angus King, and I approve this message.
When the Coach House Restaurant wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. The Coach House Restaurant, family dining at its best with fine home-cooked meals, delicious homemade desserts, and a large menu of tasty offerings for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
I got hurt by a big truck. Why did I call the twos? Because life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money, and I'll fight to get it for you. We got a client who broke multiple bones in a commercial vehicle accident, $700,000. Another client had a brain injury, and we got them $1.15 million. If you get hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Every now and then I rinse it out.
Fights odor in just one wash.
Welcome to Hillcrest Orchards, located in Winterport. From crisp apples and cider to homemade jams, jellies, and maple syrup, Hillcrest Orchards has you covered. Hillcrest Orchards also carries gifts and seasonal decorations. Stop by today, open 10 to 4.
Rescue crews have begun recovery efforts in Beirut, Lebanon, following a deadly airstrike from Israel. Lebanese health officials report 22 deaths and dozens of injuries after they say an Israeli air raid decimated 2 residential buildings. Israel says it is looking into those reported strikes. Hezbollah, which operates in Lebanon, says the attack was aimed to kill its top security official, Wafik Safah. The airstrike is part of consistent attacks between the two sides for more than a year now.
One of the last major inflation reports was out Thursday morning. Fox's David Spunt is in Washington with the latest on that and how it could impact the upcoming presidential election.
Stocks opened Thursday morning fluctuating. Investors responding to the latest economic report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The Consumer Price Index, measuring the cost of goods and services, showing inflation rose 0.2% last month, as well as 2.4% over the previous 12 months. But although prices rose more than expected, the annual increase in inflation was the smallest in more than 3 years, potentially keeping the Federal Reserve on track to cut interest rates again next month.
It certainly seems as though the inflation numbers pretty much across the board were either as expected on one count, but pretty much warmer on all counts.
The new inflation data coming less than 1 month before the presidential election, with most voters citing the economy as the most important issue.
The inflation seems to be wearing on people. I'm a realtor, and so I see how it's affecting my clients.
On the campaign trail, Vice President Harris is looking to overcome former President Trump's edge on the economy, and she's getting help from the president of the United Auto Workers, the union that endorsed Harris earlier this summer and this morning took aim at Trump.
He was the job killer in chief because he is a champion of corporate greed.
But the Trump campaign is blaming Biden-Harris policies for higher prices over the past 4 years.
When we go to war on American energy, we make everything more expensive.
Another sign that the pace of inflation is cooling. This morning, the Social Security Administration set its 2025 cost of living adjustment at just 2.5%, the smallest annual COLA hike since 2021. In Washington, David Spunt, Fox News.
Well, as David reported, Social Security recipients can expect a smaller cost of living boost this year. Starting in January, millions who get Social Security payments will now get a 2.5% cost of living increase in their monthly checks based on cost of living adjustments. That translates into an average increase of more than $50 for retirees every month. In 2024, Social Security recipients got a 3.2% increase in their benefits. That's compared to a historic 8.7% increase in 2023, thanks to inflation. About 72.5 million people get Social Security benefits through Social Security and Medicare, and both programs are facing major financial shortfalls. An annual trustees report from May said the program's trust fund won't be able to pay full benefits starting in 2035.
All right, and coming up on the second half of the newscast, we'll hear all the latest news from show business in today's Hollywood Nation.
More Good Morning Maine right after this.
We are explorers, hard workers, the jack of all trades. We are Mainers. Maine QuitLink provides free nicotine quit medication, including gum, patches, and lozenges. No insurance needed, no copay, and no cost to Mainers. Because quitting tobacco with a little extra help is more successful than quitting on your own. Quit like a Mainer. Enroll online at MaineQuitLink.com or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Ye Olde General, located in Carmel, has everything you could ever need. Whether it be kerosene, regular or ethanol-free gasoline, wood pellets, a fresh cooked pizza, or fried food, they've got you covered. Looking to get a stiff drink after work? Ye Olde General is an agency liquor store with a great selection of alcohol. Ye Olde General can help with your next home project, carrying carpentry supplies from hammers and nails to specialty nuts and bolts. They have what you need to get the job done. Stop by Ye Olde General today. If you don't think they'll have it, they probably do.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Friday, October 11th, 2024, and it is also National Coming Out Day.
This holiday helps raise awareness for people in the LGBTQ community and champions the idea that homophobia thrives on silence. On this day, many people choose this day to talk to their friends and family members about their sexuality, which can be very difficult. This holiday was inspired by a march on Washington in 1987 when people decided to create a national day to celebrate coming out. And I think it's so important to celebrate. I have a lot of friends who still have been ostracized by a lot of their friends and family members for coming out. And I think it's really important to talk about because members of the LGBTQ community are often overrepresented in communities who experience suicide and homelessness. So it's very important for them to be able to express their true identity.
It can be so freeing for people too. I know a few people who have, fortunately, they had the support of their families and community members, so they ended up living a much better life, but it doesn't happen for everybody out there.
I just think everybody deserves to be happy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Treat people how you want to be treated, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right, moving on now to some history. It was on this day in history back in 1890, the Daughters of the American Revolution was founded in Washington, D.C. In 1929, J.C. Penney opened a store in Milford, Delaware, making it a national company with stores in all 48 states. We only had 48 at that time.
Crazy.
1968, Apollo 7, the first manned Apollo mission, was launched into space. 3 crewmen orbited the Earth for 11 days and transmitted the first live television broadcast while in orbit. It was really like magic at the time. We hadn't seen anything like that.
I've heard stories.
And in 1975, Bruce Springsteen, the boss, scored his very first pop hit with the song Born to Run.
I brought it up a few hours ago, but Bruce Springsteen, we look at these On This Day in History websites all the time for this segment. Bruce Springsteen was doing stuff all the time.
He broke records.
He was making history all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's still rocking strong, too.
I know. I love it. I love his music, so it makes sense. In 1975, Saturday Night Live debuted on TV. In 1983, the last hand-cranked telephones in the U.S. went out of service. That's when the 440 telephone customers from Bryant Pond, Maine, were switched over to direct dial service. I wish I could have gotten to use one.
Yeah. I wonder if they still have those somewhere, you know?
Not in use, but I'm sure that an antique store locally has one.
We have a telephone museum in Maine, you know?
I
think it's in Ellsworth. Yeah, heading to Ellsworth up there.
All sorts of cool stuff in Ellsworth these days. In 1991, Anita Hill testified before a Senate committee claiming she was a victim of sexual harassment from Supreme Court nominee Clarence Thomas. Thomas denounced the allegations as a high-tech lynching and was confirmed as the newest member of the court. And in 2002, President Jimmy Carter was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his decades of work to find peaceful solutions to international conflicts. A peanut farmer from Georgia, Carter also worked to advance democracy and human rights and promoted economic and social development. And in 2017, the Boy Scouts of America announced that it would admit girls into the Cub Scouts program and would establish a new program for older girls.
All right, for birthdays today, they include rocker Daryl Hall, who is 78 years old today. Actress Jane Krakowski turns 56, a very funny actress. And rapper Cardi B is 32 years old today. Happy birthday to all of them.
A lot of big stars.
Yeah.
All right, moving on now. It looks like we have a beautiful day in store. It seems like it'll be clear overnight. Yeah. Last night, if you're a social media user, I'm sure you woke up to all sorts of photos of the northern lights.
They were beautiful.
Seems like conditions will be appropriate for good viewing tonight as well. So fingers crossed if that's what you're hoping to do tonight.
I think I'm going to try to check them out. I didn't see them last night because I went to bed so early.
Well, it was
looks
pretty
like we missed
early.
a big show.
We go to bed so early, but I was seeing people post around 10 p.m., so they didn't have to wait that long.
Cool. Now you're talking.
Yeah, right? Here's Conrad Sapinski with the forecast.
All right, our first weather this morning is brought to you by Irish Collision Center. Irish Collision Center offers expert repairs with a 3D frame measuring system, aluminum repair equipment. Our recent expansion boosts capacity, faster service. We are dedicated to quality every time. Visit us today. All right, just a few passing clouds out there this morning. Not much going on at all. We're not looking at any rain showers in the forecast. We still got a couple more days for that to happen. Now, temperature-wise, though, right back in those mid-40s right in town. Same story right at the coast, Rockland, Bar Harbor, and Machias. Even up north, Greenville, Millinocket area, you are hovering back in those mid to upper 40s. So overall, though, mostly 40s all over the state. Now, we're looking at a light breeze, a little bit more of a gusty wind right up north. See this pocket right here of those blue colors indicating wind gusts right around 20+ miles an hour in some spots. Sustained winds right around 13 in Millinocket area. Now, we do have small craft advisories that are in effect till around 2 p.m. That is for later on today. And that is for everyone right off the coast. Now, speaking of today, we're looking at lots of sunshine outside. Windy conditions, that northwest wind right around 25 miles an hour. Temperatures will be a little bit cooler, a couple of degrees below average, hovering in those upper 50s. Now for tonight, though, once again, 40s will be back, mid-40s at that. Partly cloudy skies and those breezy conditions will be continuing. For tomorrow, though, upper 50s once again. Lots of sunshine, will be windy in the forecast. Our hour-by-hour forecast does show temperatures continuing to warm up back in those upper 50s to lower 60s.
Thank you, Conrad. Well, Hugh Jackman announces 2025 residency, and more stars line up to help with Hurricane Helene relief efforts.
Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has all of the latest Hollywood news in today's Hollywood Nation.
Guy's got good instincts. Guy's got good everything.
Rich Thing gets a renewal. Jackman returns to the stage, and country music stars unite for a good cause in the Hollywood Nation. The concert for Carolina expands its star-studded lineup. Keith Urban, Sheryl Crow, and Bailey Zimmerman will perform at the benefit, which will raise funds for victims of Hurricane Helene. They join headliners Luke Combs, Eric Church, Billy Strings, and James Taylor. It will take place at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, October 26th. All proceeds will be donated to organizations helping with relief efforts across the Carolinas and the Southeast. Hugh Jackman is heading to Radio City Music Hall. The stage and screen actor will deliver 12 concerts for his residency From New York with Love, featuring Jackman performing songs from his Broadway and film musicals. The show kicks off with a weekend in January, then returns for one weekend a month, April through August.
How are you?
Speaking of the stage, Jonathan Groff is returning to Broadway to play 1950s and 60s singer-songwriter Bobby Darin in the new bio-musical Just in Time. The show will take place at the Circle in the Square Theater, which will be turned into an immersive nightclub with a live on-stage band. Previews begin March 28th, 2025, with an official opening set for April 23rd.
Who are you?
Someone who prefers not getting involved.
Alan Ritchson will continue solving crimes and delivering his own kind of street justice. Prime Video has renewed its hit series Reacher for a 4th season. The renewal comes months ahead of the show's season 3 premiere in 2025.
Why'd you gotta hit him so hard? I don't hit soft.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And right after the break, Tyler Cruz will have the latest with sports.
Don't go away.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe.
Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
I've been on the water since I was 2 days old. Fished up and down the coast from Nantucket to Eastport. I've been paying into Medicare, Social Security my whole life, every paycheck. Those benefits should be there when we retire. But Austin wants to join extremists in Congress, trying to cut Social Security and Medicare. I earned those benefits. Austin should not be able to take those away.
DCCC is responsible for the content of this ad.
When it comes to automotive and heavy equipment repair, trust the experts at CTI Service Center, located in Old Town and Milford. CTI offers heavy-duty part sales at our Old Town location, as well as on-the-road service with our heavy-duty mobile units. CTI also offers tire sales, including mount and spin balance, as well as Old Town's only heavy-duty alignment system. CTI Service Center diagnoses issues swiftly and accurately. For reliable service and peace of mind, give us a call or visit us online at ctiservicecenter.com. CTI Service Center, simply the best.
You want to be a lifeguard? This is the real deal.
Rescue High Surf is the hottest drama on TV.
This is a job you have to put your heart into. You fight and never give up.
And you can watch it anytime.
Welcome to the North Shore.
And every Monday,
Watch and learn, Junior.
it's all new action.
You gotta work hard and you gotta play hard.
All new adventure.
Too dangerous.
We're going in.
All new episodes.
It's all in a day's work.
Rescue High Surf. All new Mondays on Fox and anytime on Hulu. Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
October baseball. Yeah. It's different. The MLB postseason is on Fox.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. We'll start over in Orono as Maine field hockey will travel down to UMass Lowell on Friday for another America East contest. And a big one. Maine leads the all-time series by a record of 14-1, but they suffered that singular loss to the Riverhawks just last season. UMass Lowell this year is a perfect 5-0 at home, and the Black Bears know they have a big challenge on their hands.
They're a good team, and they have a good work ethic as well, and the pace will probably be high, and we're just going to have to take it quarter by quarter and, you know, keep working on the things that we've been working on.
We're really focused this week, and we take every conference game seriously, and we're not taking anyone lightly, and we're just going to treat every game as if it's a championship game.
Maine captain Poppy Lambert is just 2 goals shy of breaking the all-time program scoring record. She currently sits at 56 goals. She needs 57 to tie, 58 to break it and be the lone record holder. Lambert has been a massive part of Maine's attack, really her entire career in Orono, and that's thanks to the skills she brought with her from New Zealand over to the States.
It is, I guess, unique for a back to be in contention, you know, for this record, but tells you how good she is on, you know, those specialty plays, the penalty corner and the penalty stroke, and those times that she's been able to execute under pressure for big wins for us.
I was really able to work on some really key skills, especially in the corners back home in New Zealand, and so when I came here they were already at a really good caliber that I was able to implement it right off my freshman year.
All right, wishing her luck. Moving on to the ice now. Maine hockey off to a good start to the season. They play Army in an exhibition on Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. And looking ahead to the future, pretty soon one Mainer will be suiting up for his home team. Going down to the NAHL ranks and the Maine Nordiques, star defenseman Wade Weil has committed to play for the Black Bears. The Nordiques made a run up to the conference finals last year, and they are off to a hot start again this fall. Weil, who is from Newburgh, Maine, is just 18 years old and still has a few years left of junior hockey before he gets to Orono, but he's excited to one day play for the squad he grew up rooting for.
It's been a dream, just a great opportunity. I'm excited to get up there and play. All my friends, family, everybody's reached out, congratulate. Like, it's honestly a dream.
It's why we do this job, to tell a kid, hey, you're gonna get an offer from a dream school. What a dream come true for not just Wade, but our staff, to continue a pipeline with the University of Maine and what Coach Barr's doing up there. It's exciting stuff.
All right, let's get on to the football field now for some Thursday night action. We will head over to Belfast for a Class D showdown. John Babst making the trip to Belfast to take on the Lions on this chilly night along the coast. It'll warm up quickly, though, especially for the Crusaders on the kickoff. Malcolm Butler, he is going to return this one all the way down the Lions field. He's going to outrun one man to beat, and he's got him. That is a touchdown to give the Crusaders a 6-0 lead, getting them off to a great start. Next drive for the Crusaders, it's Belfast. Michael Alley, who sniffs out the option and makes a big tackle for a loss to force the Crusaders punt. Towards the end of the first now, Aiden Willett airs it out to Tyler Wilkinson. He makes an insane catch over a few Lions defenders for the touchdown. We need another look at that one. John Babst goes on to win this one by a score of 42-14. All right, to the soccer pitch now at Cameron Stadium. Bangor hosting Skowhegan in a Class A matchup. First half, Rams up 1. Raiden Sudborough gives a great ball here to Kristen Kendall, but Isaiah Graff comes sliding in and gets it away. Rams stay aggressive, but here comes Graff again, corrals it in the box to keep it 1-0. Rams on the corner now. Dom Queso enters. Seamus McDonald gets ahead on it, but it's just a little too high. Great chance for the Rams there. Still in the first, another chance. Queso sends it in. Philip Moscone gets the shot off, but another save from Graff keeps it 1-0 after the first half. But in the second, Rams again. Raiden Sudborough, you can't see him. That's a beautiful cross over to Tristan Shaw. He knows what to do with it. Buries it to make it 2-0. Bangor goes on to win 4-0. All right, and for some other scores from around the area, Old Town beats Bangor in field hockey 4-0. Herman beats John Babst in soccer 4-0. PCHS over Skank in boys soccer, that's a 6-2 final. And Gardner over MCI in boys soccer, 8-0 is the final there. All right, that is all the time we have for sports. Like that.
Whether you have a $15,000 fender bender or a surgery case worth $1 million, call the Twos.
I walked away from my car accident with minor injuries, but I called the Twos and they still got me $23,000.
I needed multiple surgeries after my accident with a big truck. I called the Twos, and Lowry & Associates got me $700,000.
Big cases and small, we handle them all. Call us. We win for you.
If you're hurt in an accident, what do you do? Call 222-2222.
Irresistibly smooth milk chocolate from the Lindt Master Chocolatier. Lindor. Made to melt you. And now, discover a new non-dairy Lindor. Made with oat milk. Made to melt you.
For 3 years in a row, Chevy has earned more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. Whether it's a high-tech SUV, the all-electric Equinox EV, or a truck for work or play, Chevy is America's most awarded brand for new vehicle quality. Current qualified lessees can get this all-new 2025 Equinox for around $299 a month. And now introducing the first-ever all-electric Equinox EV.
Backed by popular demand, the Lucerne Inn in Dedham presents its amazing Sunday brunch. Join us every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for a culinary experience like no other. Indulge in an exquisite selection of dishes, all while enjoying breathtaking views. Seating is limited, so reservations are recommended, but walk-ins are always welcome. The Lucerne Inn Sunday Brunch, where great food meets a spectacular view. Call today to reserve your spot.
Back to Good Morning Maine. I'm here with Nikki Amateo and Katie Sharp. They're the owners of the new business, the Emporium Spooky Goods and More in downtown Bangor, and they have their grand opening tomorrow. Guys, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. So tell us about your new store. This is super exciting.
Oh, yes. This is something that Nick and I have been honestly thinking about doing for many years. Nick and I are both actually big fans of just everything spooky. We love horror movies. We love going to haunted houses. Yeah. We obviously fall is our favorite time of year. We love when we go on vacations. If we go anywhere that's like older historical, we go to graveyards and go just. I mean, we would just wander, and we love going to places like that. So This is just something that we have been doing for years. We also go to horror conventions when we discovered them over a decade ago. So we get to meet our favorite people from some of our favorite horror movies. So over the years, we have gotten the chance to meet people and kind of collect different things. So it's Halloween all year long in our house, absolutely.
Right.
So we just noticed that there are more people out there like us that want to have
Me.
you know,
I'm one of those.
yeah, you want to have skull stuff in your house. You know,
Yeah.
you want to have fun horror movie posters or something like that. So we, over the years, have met so many cool people at different conventions, at festivals, and all sorts of stuff. And we've just been like collecting our resources and said, why don't we make it a one-stop shop for people like us who want to decorate their home or just have fun things like that.
And I think we're recognizing too in Bangor, there's a market for this in Bangor right now. We have a permanent year-round haunted house in the Bangor Mall. Every day I drive home from work and I see people always outside of Stephen King's home. I think he was actually spotted in Bangor the other day.
Yeah. So we actually live right around the corner from the house. So we've lived in that neighborhood for as long as we've been here in Bangor. And the same thing, we notice it. And even before we moved to Maine, because Maine is just a beautiful place and it has a lot of ghost stories.
Right.
And it just has a lot of really neat history. So we get up here and we're like, there's nothing like that here.
Right.
And so we noticed that and we were like, okay, well, let's start thinking more about actually doing what we thought about doing. And even too, I've noticed, I'm a big Dark Shadows fan, the 60s TV show, and it takes place in Maine. And while Collinsport is actually a fictional town, the big city that they go
like Dark
to.
Shadows, yeah.
The big city that they're always mentioning to go shopping and everything like that is Bangor.
Right.
And there's nothing Dark Shadows in the entire state. So we're like, why don't we?
I thought it was Bucksport.
So Bucksport is supposed to be Collinsport, but the big city that they go to do all their, their big city errands and stuff is Bangor. They're always talking about going to, Bangor, right?
Right.
But yeah, so there's nothing like that around here. So we want to, expand upon that as well. So, but yeah, so we've just been collecting all sorts of things to have in the shop, like you see, keychains and clothing and candles, and we're really trying to work with a lot of local artists and stuff. So we have a lot of quilted items like embroidered keychains. We have bags, and we actually just got a nice shipment from her. She's from New Hampshire.
Yeah.
The candles that we have are made by a couple in Massachusetts, and just like getting a lot of really neat stuff that people could just find stuff that's made, and that's going to also fit their personality.
Right. Yeah, there's a market for gift shops and just shops in Bangor right now. That's so exciting. So can you talk a little bit about what this grand opening will be like tomorrow?
We had a soft opening on Saturday, September 28th. So we've been open. So we are actually open even today. So you can certainly come by today if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But we thought okay, well, every store has like a grand opening. And so we originally planning to just do it ourselves. Yep. We already had October 12th kind of picked out. But then the folks at the Downtown Bangor Partnership reached out to us. So Betsy Lundy and her coworkers reached out to us and said, welcoming us to the neighborhood, so to speak. And so they actually offered, would you like to do a ribbon cutting ceremony? We've got the giant scissors and everything. And so we're like, oh, okay, that's perfect. And so, and basically, if you come by at 10 a.m. tomorrow, there will be a ribbon cutting ceremony. We'll have just some refreshments, nothing too fancy. But we're also going to do a raffle. So we'll put together a bag with kind of a sample of some of our spooky goods.
Love a raffle.
I know. So we'll giving out raffle tickets, just one per person. So if you come by between 10 a.m.
Just with a purchase.
Well, no, you don't have to purchase anything. Just one. But we're all limited one per person.
Yeah.
So if you come between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m., you can get one ticket. We'll do the drawing at 11. And so that's what we're going to be doing. And we'll still be open all day. And we wanted to leave a little space because later in the afternoon, around 3 o'clock, is the Bangor Zombie Walk, which we also donated one of our spooky goods for that because they have their own contests and prizes and such like that.
So a lot of fun in Bangor. I hate to cut you off, Nick, but can you just say your address and maybe your website to wrap up?
Oh, yeah. So 22 State Street, Suite 1. There's actually a nice little skeleton hand that points you what door you're supposed to go into. And our website is emporiumspookygoods.com.
Easy enough. Katie and Nick, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
We'll send it over to Conrad Zapinski with that full forecast.
Our main weather this morning is brought to you by Irish Collision Center. Irish Collision Center offers expert repairs with a 3D frame measuring system, aluminum repair equipment. Our recent expansion boosts capacity, faster service. We are dedicated to quality every time. Visit us today. Another quiet start to the day for our Friday. It's the weekend around the corner. Let's go, my friends. It is absolutely knocking on our door. So exciting stuff there, right? And weather-wise, though, we're having some exciting stuff once again. A dry stretch will be continuing. Dew points will start to rise right around that Monday morning time frame into the afternoon hours. No worries, though, right in time for Tuesday into Wednesday. Dew points will be dropping once again to comfortable levels. Now, we're getting that push of colder air. So this blue all the way down to Raleigh, upstate New York, Pennsylvania, Detroit. We're looking at temperatures in the 30s and 40s. But in the central parts of the country, look at all this yellow. That's showing some very, very mild temperatures. Minneapolis is starting out the day close to 70 degrees. It is almost middle of October. Incredibly warm temperatures. Now, we've had our own share of very warm temperatures, those red colors pretty much every single day, but then we had that turn on Monday. So this last week, the last 4 days, we saw temperatures a couple of degrees below average back in those 50s and 60s. Remember those 70s and 80s? They are long gone. Now we are entering more of a fall, cooler type of weather trend. Our average should be right around 60 degrees as a high. We're going to be a couple of degrees below that the next several days. Tuesday, low 50s outside, upper 40s as high temperatures on Wednesday, and then slightly warmer by Thursday. Temperatures will be at 52. That is still well below average. Now, we are seeing those light winds. Millinocket area in and around your region, you are looking at more of a gusty wind, where sustained winds right around 10 to 15 miles an hour. Wind gusts close to 20 to even 25 in some spots. We're actually going to get worse, especially by Saturday morning time frame. So we're looking at widespread, very gusty winds, right around even 40 miles an hour in some spots, inland as well. So, of course, by the coast, a little bit more of that gusty wind. For today, though, sunny skies, though, breezy conditions, windy at times, temperatures right around 59 degrees. For tonight, though, mid-40s outside, partly cloudy skies. It will be breezy once again. For tomorrow, very gusty winds, temperatures right around 59, but mostly sunny skies. Our extended forecast outlook does show another good-looking day out there for Saturday, even into Sunday, and then more chances of rain showers by Monday.
Welcome to Hillcrest Orchards, located in Winterport. From crisp apples and cider to homemade jams, jellies, and maple syrup, Hillcrest Orchards has you covered. Hillcrest Orchards also carries gifts and seasonal decorations. Stop by today, open 10 to 4.
Does your dream kitchen look like this? Or this? Or maybe you need a little more inspiration. Get it when you explore the complete in-store showroom displays at Hammond Lumber Company. When you find the look you like, the Hammond team will help you customize it, including accurate 3D renderings, so you can visualize your project before the work begins. Hammond offers delivery from any of the locations across Maine and New Hampshire and professional service after the sale. Your dream kitchen begins when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
Your favorite restaurants were half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Go to foxbangor.com, click on half off dining, and start saving now.
The brand new Chung Li Chinese restaurant, located in the Waterville Concourse, offers truly delicious, authentic cooking with the best poo-poo platter in the area. Lunch specials and dinner combinations available for dine-in, takeout, and delivery.
Great restaurants from all over Eastern Maine at half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
Welcome to Hillcrest Orchards, located in Winterport. From crisp apples and cider to homemade jams, jellies, and maple syrup, Hillcrest Orchards has you covered. Hillcrest Orchards also carries gifts and seasonal decorations. Stop by today, open 10 to 4.
People around the state witnessed
a spectacular light show last night. Social media is full of wonderful photos of the northern lights that danced across the night sky. Let's take a look at some of these photos sent in from various viewers. It's caused by a powerful solar storm currently underway. The sun is nearing the peak of the solar cycle, which means frequent solar flares and the ejection of charged particles from the sun. Those particles then collide with molecules in our own atmosphere, which creates all those beautiful colors. Last night was more vivid than ever, it seemed, too.
I know a lot of these photos, I don't want to use the word misleading, but sometimes they show up better in photos than to the naked eye, especially if you're in a place like Bangor that has a lot of light pollution. So we are forecasted to be able to see them again tonight. It's going to be even better, like if you go to a place like Dexter or Corinth, like these last two photos, then a place like Bangor that has a lot of light pollution. I'm going to MDI tomorrow, and I'm hoping there will still be Northern Lights on Saturday night as well.
I haven't seen them myself. You know,
Yeah,
I
I
tried
haven't
one
either.
night. They say there's something you can do with your little cell phone camera to make it more sensitive. But
Yep.
I'll try to figure that out.
Yeah, just a simple Google.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, looks like we're running out of time. If you missed anything, head to foxbangor.com.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. We hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Today on 25 Words or Less, she's a graduate from the School of Hard Knocks and Sid's online theatre program for lonely girls. It's Melissa Peterman.
Got a master's degree, Jamie.
And joining Melissa are college pals CG and Ashley. You know her from